Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
Not too bad.
That's good. I'm Senior Constable Alan Ward. I'm from the Road Policing Task Force. The reason I've stopped your vehicle today is because of how fast you're doing coming down the bridge. You aware of how fast you're travelling?
So he claimed he was just pulling her over for speeding, but suddenly things got very weird.
Queensland licence, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. No worries. And is this your motor vehicle?
Yeah.
And it's registered in your name?
I don't want to answer any questions.
Sorry?
I'll give you my name. But
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And whereabouts are you travelling from today?
Where am I travelling from? I'm
Yep.
not going to answer any questions.
Okay, that is a question that you do have to answer under the Queensland Health Act and the current COVID-19. Okay, I do require you to know where you've come from, where you're going to, and the purpose of your travelling.
I need to know where you've come from, where you're going, and the purpose of your trip. Suddenly it seems like I pulled you over for speeding was just an excuse.
I do not have to answer.
Okay, if you refuse to answer, you're going to leave me with no choice but to arrest you.
You're going to arrest me. Okay, hold on a second. Let me wait a second.
Okay, I'll come back to you in a sec.
That's a little over the top, I'd say. If you don't tell me where you came from, where you're going, and why you're in your car with your child, I'll have to arrest you. By the way, cops have a lot of discretion when it comes to enforcing COVID directions. He certainly has the choice of whether to arrest Anna for allegedly breaking coronavirus restrictions or to just ticket her for allegedly speeding if that was the reason why he really initially pulled her over in the first place. But this pandemic has undoubtedly proven to the public that there are two types of cops out there. There are those who use their discretion in the best interest of the people they're supposed to serve. But there are also those using the pandemic for a personal power trip.
There's no need to get angry.
No, I'm telling you, you're not answering my question. Okay,
My name
open the door.
is Anna Marie Stancombe. Excuse me. I have
Your name
stated
is
my
what?
name. Okay,
It
you
took
are
5
intimidating
attempts.
me.
It took 5 attempts.
Do I need to ring
Really?
Triple O because my son is very scared here. He is 7 years old. You're opening your door by force. You're
Because
being
you're not
rude to
answering
me.
my questions.
I will answer
I
your
have asked a
questions.
reasonable question.
Okay, you're intimidating me. Can you please get out of my personal space?
Right. And the reason
Okay,
for your
could you
travelling
please
today?
shut the door,
Not at this
please?
point in time, because
Okay.
I'm concerned that you may drive off.
Really?
Yes.
You have no authority to open my door. I am not obliged to answer your questions.
You were obstructing me in the course of my duties, and you're continuing to do so.
I'm instructing
You're about that
you.
far away from being arrested, okay?
I'm not obliged to answer your questions. I stated my name.
You are under the
Okay.
Queensland Health and COVID-19 Act.
Okay.
All I'm asking you is, where have you been? Where are you going? What was the purpose of your journey?
And if you don't answer, I'm going to have to arrest you.
So you get pulled over for a speeding ticket, and the next thing you know, you have Sergeant Stadanko asking numerous irrelevant questions about your whereabouts and where you're off to and what you're planning on doing. And it is all being justified under the proviso of Wuhan virus safety protocols. Oh, give me a break. And joining me now to try and unravel this disturbing story of a member of law enforcement overplaying his hand when dealing with a law-abiding citizen is our very own wonder from down under, Avi Yemini. Hey, how you doing there, Avi?
G'day, mate.
Good day. Avi, I must say, the way Australian police are acting these days, sometimes I wonder if I'm watching footage of Australia in 2021 or Germany in 1933. What gives?
Yeah, it's scary stuff. My inbox is inundated with people sending me footage that, if you showed it to me a year and a half ago, I would have told you, oh, that's got to be communist China. But it's here and it's happening daily over the most mundane rubbish. They're not chasing real criminals anymore. They're targeting people for not wearing masks or people for traveling too far. And we're not talking about, big tattooed thugs. We're talking about, single mums in their cars. We're talking about grannies on park benches. We're talking about everyday Aussies just trying to survive through the craziness of 2020 and now 2021.
And you know what I found a little disturbing about your video, Avi, with this lady, was that when this man goes back into his police cruiser, and I noticed the Mercedes-Benz logo. I didn't know Australian police were driving Benzes. My goodness! So they must be raking in a lot of ticket money. But it was more than just a rogue cop, a police officer acting badly, because somebody on the dispatch side went, "Hey, good job! Good for you. You threw the book at her." So it's almost like there's a little club mentality. Avi, is there, I don't know, do these guys work on a quota system, a goal system that they have to write out so many tickets, bring in so many fines? Is this an economic penalization of the citizens that we're seeing here?
You know what's interesting? The other day I was in a police station, as I often am, and and I was standing there waiting to sign a document, and somebody called out to me, and I turned around, and it's a cop there, and it turns out he was a friend of mine from when I was a kid, and he came outside, and he went to have a cigarette, and we had a chat. We haven't seen each other since we were almost teenagers together. And, he loves our work and he watches all the Rebel News videos, and there are a lot of cops like him. And let me just start with that. There's a lot of cops that actually send me messages that are just as outraged as you and I about what's happening and about the mentality that seems to be growing in a lot of these police forces across the country and across the world. But I said to him, I think the pandemic, the biggest victims of the pandemic have really been or at least the lockdowns and all the restrictions have really been good cops. Because when I said to him, the last 6 months, how have you found it? He goes, I haven't gotten involved at all in the COVID enforcement. I go, well, what do you mean you haven't gotten involved? You're on the police force. You have to get involved. He goes, well, actually, we're given discretion. Yeah. And it's actually given me a new talking point in a lot of my videos. And I think in that video I made it clear, because it was right after I actually spoke to my friend. And he goes, I use my discretion. I haven't given out one fine. I haven't done anything. He goes, put aside my personal beliefs. I'm here to do my job. But part of my job is discretion. And the problem we're seeing is, I think this pandemic, and watching videos from around the world, including Canada, I can see the pattern that what's happened is the pandemic and the new powers that have come with it, legal or illegal, who cares? That's a different discussion for now. But those powers that police at least think they have are exposing two kinds of cops. They're showing us the kind of cops that, yes, they use their discretion because they're actually there to fight real crime. So they don't care if you wear a mask or not. They're there to find, the violent criminals that are robbing people, that are holding up, what we're talking about, actual criminals. Here we have youth gangs, those kind of stuff. And then it's really brought out those cops that join the police force because, I don't know, they got bullied in school and it's their way to, finally take their control out on the world and prove a point and enjoy that power trip that they are getting right now from here in Victoria to never-ending state of emergency. So, and that discussion with him really clarified it for me. And I know because we often, you have, and a lot of people on the right have always said we back the blue, because we do. I back the blue. I back proper law enforcement. But what we're seeing nowadays is not law enforcement. No, it's overreaching police state brutality.
And Avi, sorry to cut you off. I think you're really on to a very important point here. And I'll bring it to the experience I see in Toronto, where you see young Dundas Square almost turn into Tiananmen Square circa 1989, with police literally taking over the square and shoving citizens aside right across the street. Here's the thing, Avi. There are the puppet masters who are behind the police. the mayors, the premiers, these days public health officials that have gotten drunk on power thanks to the pandemic. And I think what it's led to go back to your point, when I look at the police at Young Dundas Square, you can't read minds, of course, but you can pick up vibes. And the vibes I pick up are, with some officers, you really get the idea that they're going, I didn't sign up for this. And there's another cat of police officer that is like, oh, finally, whack them and stack them, handcuff, arrest, do all that TV police stuff. That's the vibe I'm getting. Do you see that playing out where you are as well?
I think that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm describing. It is that, and, it's sad because those cops that are standing there going, this is not what I signed up for, they're the good guys, and they're the guys that when it comes down to taking on the real, hardened criminals, they're the first to be there and to put their lives in danger to protect the public, to serve and protect like they signed up for. And those other cops that are picking on innocent, law-abiding citizens who just want to go about living their life peacefully, they're the first to run away from a real criminal. They're the first to cower in the face of a real threat. And I think, if we could, the best thing, the silver lining of this pandemic is we should be able to clean out our police force using the data we've collected over this period. Go, okay, those cops that got drunk on power during this period and picked on innocent civilians, maybe we should let them go and take on more of the good cops. But, I'm talking in fantasy now because that makes way too much sense.
You know what, Avi? We have to wrap it, but I hope you're right. I hope that is a silver lining. But, my friend, I will believe it when I see it. So, in any event, you stay safe, because it's made me infuriated seeing you get all that paperwork, which we don't have to get as journalists in Canada to cover something, and you still get thrown in a paddy wagon like you're... Do you have raccoons in Australia? That's our big pest here in Toronto.
We have possums.
Possums, there you go. And you're driven out of town, and it's like catch and release, and it's just absolutely shocking, the lack of respect to civil liberties, including freedom of the press. So thank you so much for that excellent video,
mate.
Avi. Hey folks, that was an excerpt from my show, Rebel Roundup. Now, to get the full meal deal, why not go to Rebel News Plus, sign up, and never miss a Rebel News Plus show in the future.